Hey guys, welcome back to another WoW Weekly with Myst. And there is a lot of events in this week. So we've got Dastardly Duos, which you can collect all your items now. I did buy my mount and my pet last week, or this past week, this reset. So you can get all your stuff now, but it does still last until July 17th, so you still got time to go quickly do those. Turbulent Timeaways is still going on. So for those that didn't take advantage of the bug, I feel like we can never talk about Turbulent Timeaways and for this round without someone being like, oh, well, I got it the first week, right? Not everyone knew about the bug. So for those that didn't know about the bug, or you just didn't feel like doing more than 5 or more than 4 or whatever, then you still have tons of time. Like, the bug means nothing. You know, it was a nice quick way for people to get their mount on week 1, but this event is for 2 months total, so there was never any rush, honestly. So Turbulent Timeways will be around till August 5th. Midsummer Fire Festival is getting ready to end, so you'll still have time to catch it up this week, but if you haven't gotten all of your items, you might want to focus that this week. It will end on August 5th. Also worth noting that there's a fireworks thing that happens when Midsummer ends. It's always been kind of a mystery because the obvious solution that you would think is it's on July 4th. I think a lot of people probably just assume it's July 4th fireworks. But in the tag, they talk about it being like for the end of Midsummer. And so I think I've always thought it was for both, honestly. Yeah, why else put it on July 4th, right? You could put the fireworks on the actual day Midsummer ends, the 5th, to end it that way. I think it is mainly July 4th fireworks, but I do think it also has to do with Midsummer. And that goes on like every hour for that day. And then we also have Arena Skirmish this week. There will be the PvP Brawl, which will be Deep 6. And then Time Walking this week will be BC, which I'm finding that one kind of weird because it was Myst of Pandaria this past week. And usually they go in row. Yeah, so that one could be a mistake on the calendar. I'm just gonna say, either or, it will be a time walking. It is scheduled as a time walking BC right now, but if it ends up being some other time walking, I would not be surprised because realistically, it should be time walking WOD. But it just doesn't show up that way on the calendar. So keep that in mind. It could be BC or it could be WOD. And then I left the newest event for last so that we can actually go into that event, and that's pretty much the only topic I'm going to discuss in this week's episode. I do have a lot other things I could put into this week, but I want to just kind of focus it Collector's Bounty and Greedy Emissary, which is the final 2 events for this week. And that runs from July 1st to July 29th. So let's start with the Collector's Bounty. So what is the Collector's Bounty? Basically, it is a one thing. It is an increase in some drop rates. So it'll be a 10 times increase. Now, a lot of people getting excited about this, and by all means, get excited. But I want to just remind, our community here that 10 times is like, I don't know, say for example, you're farming Peacekeeper, which is 0.5%. 10 times of that would make that a 5% drop. Right? So yeah. Same with Invincible would end up being like 10% because it's usually 1%. So really do keep in mind what 10 times really means. Don't go in expecting you're just going to get these mounts first shot. They're still going to have a low drop rate, just not as low as normal. 10 times is still better than nothing. They haven't put out the full list of everything that's going to be included yet, and they probably won't until the day. But as a confirmed list anyway. You know, everything's just speculation right now. So, you know, once the confirmed list is out, I'll pin it into this video and you can check that out. But for now, what has been confirmed is that there will be legendary items like the Eye of Sulfuras from Molten Core, the Hearthstone card from Lord Jerax. That was a tough drop. Like, I'm a consistent player of many years, so I have pretty much all the drops that are mentioned in this event. But I will just say that Lord Jerax took me forever to get that Hearthstone card. Yeah, so that is a kind of like a mount drop percentage there. So very cool that that'll be upped. Both the bindings from Molten Core, both the Warglaves, and then the Thoradal. So this definitely seems like an event for newer players. These are all items that I feel like most of us have had for like many, many years. But for those that don't have them, you know, increased drop rate. And you'll notice it on the legendary items because the normal drop rate is pretty high on some of these things. Like, for example, Eye of Sulfuras is normally a 3, almost 4% drop rate. The bindings of Windseeker, almost 4%. And the Warglaves is 4%, and Thoradal, the hunter bow, that's like a 7%. So you times that by 10. Like, if you need that bow, definitely go in. You're gonna probably get it on your one shot. Like, those are times where the 10 times is gonna be real beneficial. The Hearthstone card is 0.77%. So that's what I mean by that one, you know. Yeah. So at least you'll be at almost a 10%. As for the mounts have not been confirmed, but I think it's a safe bet to say that most dungeon and raid mounts will be applied. So they are kind of confirming that it is all pre-Dragonflight legacy mounts from dungeons and raids. I think it's important to read the small print there. So if you're hoping for a mount that's, say, a world boss mount or something, that's probably not gonna be part of the equation. But you can guarantee on, like, Invincible will have an increased chance. You know, if you still need the Firebird and stuff like that, like, yeah. There's not a whole lot in this list that I can take advantage of, but assuming they are confirmed included, because not everything will probably be included. There'll probably be like 1 or 2 mounts that people bitch about that they didn't add into the cycle. But assuming the ones I need are included, the ones that I would be specifically going after myself is Gmod. So I'm personally hoping that I get my Gmod through this one. It would be nice to get just everything I'm farming, but if it's gotta be like one specific, because let's be real, these are all weekly farms and the event runs for a month. So you're not gonna get as many attempts in as you're hoping probably. Highly suggest some alts if you want to get absolute max attempts in. But yeah, it only runs for a month, so you got limited time. And Gmod is like the one mount that kind of like really increases the time frame I mount farm every week. If I would get that, I could knock off a good chunk of time. So yeah, that one would be nice. That's the one I'm gonna be hoping for. Anything else I need is totally welcome, but I really don't care about anything as much as I care about Gmod dropping, because Gmod forces me to do 4 difficulties on just one simple character each week. So if I'm doing that on alts, that's a lot of runs, because it's 4 runs every character. So yeah, that's why I want that one. So there'll also be the Hell Collar chest, which you can get some shards from. There's going to be some treasure goblin affixes and some elixirs. As for portals, Stormwind will have portals by the Stormwind docks. Ogrimmar will have portals by the entrance gate of Ogrimmar. And Dornegal will have portals over on the southeastern side of the city. It's where the target dummy area is. In Undermine, there's going to be some treasure goblins that spawn slightly differently. Killing any rare out in the Undermine will trigger a portal spawning a goblin. And this can happen once per hour per Undermine rare. As for rewards, there is going to be a bunch of sets. Okay, so on screen you can see the Death Knight, Demon Hunter, Druid, Evoker, Hunter, Mage, Monk, Paladin, Priest, Rogue, Shaman, Warlock, and the Warrior. There's also this mount. So this is the Anarius mount. So a reskin of Tyrael's Charger. And here is a bag. So this is the blood wrapped bag. It is a reskin of the bag we got in 2024, which was the treasure nabbin bag. And here's the buffs. Okay, so some items that are returning that exist for us. These are all items I have, so they are from past years. So there is the Belial Soulstone. This is the Belial Battle Pet. It also awards you the Little Lords of Lies achievement. And then, of course, Tyrael's Charger, if you didn't have it from so many promotions now. Then here's yet another chance. Wirt's Leg Weapon Transmogs. So there's 3 of them. Fighting Leg, Wirt's Last Leg, and Wirt's Haunted Leg. And then, of course, I just mentioned the Treasure Nabbin Bag. And then there's a Transmog Ensemble here. So this will be the Enmity Bundle, and it contains a cloak and a hood. And then there's also the Nightmare Banner. And then there's also these 3 things that can drop from the goblins. The Town Portal, 12-string guitar, and the axe. Okay, and that's it. Like I said, there is a bunch of other news I have for this week, but I'm going to leave it for next week. I think next week will be a little quiet. People will be busy doing the new event, and it'll be a good week for me to sneak all my extra stuff in. I didn't want to make this video too terribly long, and especially since I usually end it off with my accomplishments and all that. So as for my druid, quite accomplished this past week. So I went in and I can see I haven't retransmogged them, but I made my gloves finally. Okay, so here is my item level. So 670 now. I pretty much have all my best in slots. I just want to craft my bracers. They're also from my leather working, and then I'll be good to go. I have everything else. So yeah, but I will say I was pretty proud of these. Yeah, so for those that don't know, I've been trying for these for a while. I could never find a crafter. I discovered why. I'll put it on screen here, but this is a screenshot I took earlier to show you in this video that yeah, I can make those. And I didn't reply to that person because why would I need 2,000 gold? You know, the tip is why you can't find people. Yeah. If you're struggling. I know not everyone has that issue. I was struggling. It was back in like May or something. I was trying to make these gloves. And that's when I said, fuck it, I'll make them myself. And I don't even look for crafters for anything now. I've been working hard at getting all my crafters up to par to where they can make everything I need. This is one of the crafters I've been working on, and she's my main crafter for the druid because she's the leather worker. It's actually my shaman, and yeah, she's good now. She can make all my shit. And yeah, the only reason we don't have the bracers is because I am out of Undermine crest, so I'm gonna have to go do some visions and delves and whatever. Those crests are easy now. I just been busy with other things. But yeah, once I get, another 90, I guess, I will craft the bracers. So I was pretty proud of that. I'm not a big fan of the crafting, but what I will say is that it does make you feel pretty proud once you can do it. Because it's a lot of effort to craft at that quality. Yeah, so, yeah, because I was able to do rune-branded grass long ago. I just couldn't do it at a 681, And even before we were given the item to increase it, I still, the point is I couldn't max rank it, So it's nice to finally have been able to do that. So that's one big accomplishment I did this week that I'm super proud of. The other would be M+. I decided, for those that don't know, I kind of made the decision to stop streaming as much. Streams aren't completely done, but I've stopped scheduling them in, which has given me, I'm not gonna lie, when I stream, I play less because I'm focused on stream. I'm focused on communicating with people, and yeah, I do so much more. I get so much more done when I don't stream. So, the second thing that I did was my M+. I'd been slacking on it. Okay, guys, so we have different scenery because some idiot player was, inspecting me or something, and, yeah, they were in our footage, okay? So I just totally fucked off, and I went into... I need to stop doing the videos. This is why I usually would do them in the garrison. I don't know why I've started doing them in Dornagal, but this is why I usually do them in the garrison, because no one interrupts us. No one gets in our footage. Yeah, so I think we'll go back to that. And, I know it's kind of a side thought, random, but there's people that are looking forward to player housing. The only thing I'm looking forward to is being able to do these videos in player housing with the assumption that no one can enter my house. Yeah, if people can enter it, then we'll go back to doing these videos in the garrison. But anyway, I think no one is gonna, approach us here, so it might be a little better scenery anyway. Okay, so anyway, Mythics. So Mythics is kind of what I was focusing as well this week. So the couple of 2s there and the 3, I'd done that a previous week. My score was, I don't know, like 500 or something. So it's really the 2 5s and the 6 that that I did this week. You know, I did do enough for the quest, so there's a 4th that got done, and I don't remember what it was. Yeah, who knows? Maybe the 6 was a 5. I don't know. Yeah, I can't totally remember. But point is, I'm working on my M plus now, so yeah. I don't really need any gear, so I'm really just getting as high of a rating as I can before the season ends. I don't give a shit about the KSM mount. If we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. I only care about the score. You know, just whatever score we can get before it ends is cool. If that score is high enough for the KSM, cool. If it's not, cool. Like, I just don't care. I just want a score to be shown that I was M plus active during that season, more or less. The same reason I like killing raid bosses. You know, it's not really about the loot, it's about the kill count for me. And yeah. So yeah, I've been working on that. And then I did buy all the stuff at the Dastardly Duos. Okay, so this is where you get all your goodies. And I've bought all the cosmetics. And this is the pet here. And the mount. It was so easy, so cheap. I still don't really know what the whole point of this event was, though. I really thought it would be a PvP event, and it really was not. So we'll just go to this corner, show you the mount and the pet. So they're a cute little duo, and yes, I have totally messed up the name of this pet. I constantly call it Spicy Meatball when it's called Spicy Mean Ball. But it looks cute. I like when they're unique with the pets because I am the most picky with the pets. I think it's because they get lazy with pets and they'll decide they're gonna make a rabbit and then they'll make 50 bazillion rabbits, and yeah. So it's nice when there's a nice unique pet like that. I'd say the same with the mounts, but I'm used to it with the mounts. Yeah. Plus, there's less mounts than there is pets. So I feel like you can get away with a reskin a little more with a mount, but with pets, yeah, there's just too many pets that look identical. But yeah, so happy to be done with that because I was not a fan. I'm just gonna say I could care less about that Dastardly Duos event. And that is basically it. There might have been something else I did, but whatever it was, it's not coming to my mind right now. So yeah, that was my accomplishments, and yeah, there was a new Twitch drop that dropped, but like I said, it doesn't start for a couple of weeks, and I got a bunch of things I plan on throwing into next week's video, so I'll talk about it then. But for anyone that's like, I wonder when the next Twitch drop will be, yeah, it's happening. It's not a mount, so there, saved yourself a look. It's not a mount, it's not a pet, it's a back piece. And I'll talk about it in the next week's video. This one's getting kind of long, and I just wanted to more or less really highlight the new event that's happening this week. So once again, Collector's Bounty and Greedy Emissary will run until July 29th. Definitely a good time to be doing some mount farming if you don't normally mount farm on a regular basis. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.